So today I'm taking you with me as I go to pick some string beans, and then we'll shell them. Actually, we snap them and we'll put them up. So here we are. That was my garden that I just showed you. And these are the string beans. I've planted them all in a raised bed because I'm getting old and it's hard to be in a long field. So you just move the string bean plants out of the way and you look for the fullest beans to pull. You'll see that it looks like I'm leaving a bunch, but that's okay because I go back later another day and pick them. The more you pick your string beans, the more often, which you generally have to pick them about every other day, the better they produce. And you just pull off the largest of the group so that you can take them back in the house and snap them. So here I am just working to get them in the bucket. I've taken them back in the house. We're in the kitchen. See, I'm going to wash them all off, get the dirt off of them, because string beans are usually grown in some kind of sandy soil, and when it rains, that sand pops up and gets all over them. And I like to rinse them off before I start snapping them. It helps get most of the dirt off of them and makes it easier to snap and cleaner whenever you start snapping. And then because I'm old, I like to go sit in my recliner, get my string beans going, snap the ends off of both, and just snap them into bite-sized pieces. It doesn't take long, but the beauty of string beans is you know exactly how many you're going to have when you start, because it's all edible. The only thing that gets thrown away or discarded are the very ends. And you can eat the long pointy end. A lot of times you'll see string beans in the store that still have the long pointy ends on them. But the end that was attached to the vine needs to be snapped off because it's hard. It's kind of woody and you wouldn't want to eat that. So I finally finished. Got a nice little pan. And those will go in the refrigerator until I have enough to actually can them. They're going to be so tasty this winter. You're pulling out the blooms and the little pieces off of the vine just to make sure they're clean. So if I've gotten enough of string beans, I got them out of the refrigerator, got a couple of bagfuls. I think there may actually be another bag in the refrigerator, but I'm going to take these and I'm going to wash them and I'm going to can them. I wash them really well, straighten up the kitchen a little bit while I'm going, just because I'm going to wash some jars in that sink right there. And here they are. They're new jars, so the lids are still kind of stuck on them. I'm running hot water in there. I'm letting it run until it gets hot, and I'm going to take all of these jars. I can only do 4 in my electric canner, so I've got 4 brand new quart jars. The water's gotten hot. I'm going to put the stopper in, finish putting the jars in there with the lids because I want them all clean. I don't sterilize my jars. They're fixing to go into a canner, a pressure canner that's going to be extremely hot. So I just make sure they're really clean and that they're warm, that I've washed them really well. And that's what I'm doing right here. I'm getting ready to wash them all. And I use really hot water, no cold, all hot. Wash them good, put them in the drain, let them sit there until I'm ready to fill them. It's really not hard, it's just a little time consuming. You have to wash all your jars. Now get all the lids out. I'm going to put them in the rings. put those lids in the rings so that I can be ready when I get it all, when I get them filled. I'm going to finish washing my beans a little more. And now I've got my, I really don't know what it's called, that metal thing in my hand. I got it from my Mamaw, but it's what you put in the top of your jars. I guess it's a funnel, just a large cannon funnel. You put it in there, and then you can get your beans in the mouth of the jar without them going all over everywhere. It makes it easier to fill everything up. So you just fill them up. It looks like you almost overfill them, but with string beans you pack them in there pretty tight. And the fact that they're not pre-cooked makes it easy to do that. You can pack those jars full. Take them and just put them in the jar. Take the green beans that you've washed, put them in the jar. Make sure you've gotten the last of the little specks. Generally what you see me taking off of those are blooms that have gotten stuck to the green bean because they're kind of sticky. Green beans are kind of sticky. They almost have like a little hair-like filament on them. So things stick to them. They'll stick to your clothes if you're not careful. But those blooms then stick to the beans. And see, I had a few too many in that one, so I'm going to put them in the next jar. I'm going to finish packing them down in there, and I'm going to fill up the next jar. And because I know that my canner only holds 4 quarts, I'm just doing a small batch. That's the beauty of the electric canner. It's easy, it's convenient, and you can do small batches, and it doesn't take long. Now I put salt in mine. That's cannon salt. It's not table salt. You want to make sure that you don't use table salt. You want to use cannon salt. And I use 1 teaspoon per quart. That's a ½ teaspoon measure. And then I take some more hot water and I pour it in the jars. Fill it to the brim. You want all your beans covered. And I like to do that after I've put the salt in at the top, because it then disperses the salt throughout the whole jar, and you don't have to worry about it being too salty or it messing anything up because the salt's at the top. So I just fill those jars up with water, and then I take my electric canner. Well, then I make sure that we get the bubbles out, because you make sure that your water went down in there because you've packed these tight. So you want to use that implement or you can use a knife. You don't have to have one of those. That's something that's made for cannon, but you don't need one of those. I hadn't had one of those for years. I just got it recently, and you'll see I poured a little water out because it was full. Now I get my canner, and you see in the bottom there's that ring. You do not want your jar sitting on the bottom of that pan, because you don't want them to get too hot at the very bottom. You clean the rims off, the edges of your jars, and you put your lids on, and you tighten them finger tight, and then you put them inside the canner. And like I said, this is an electric canner. I've only had it a couple of years. I always did mine on the stove before that. And I still do some on the stove, but that's the electric canner, and it works great. And as you can see, I had a few beans left over. I'm going to put those back in the refrigerator, and I'll put those up another day. Now I put 8 cups of water in my canner, because that's what it calls for. If you buy one of these, it's I can put a link in my channel for you to be able to find it. But if you buy one, it's really awesome, and it comes with the book, gives you instructions exactly what you need to do, how to do it. You want to lock it, and then you want to turn it on And then you want to select the pressure, and then you select the time. String beans get pressure cooked for 25 minutes. You make sure that your exhaust is open, and then you just let it do its thing. And when it's finished, it'll stop. And once it stops, then you get them out, and here they are, the finished product. These are things your mama should have taught you, and that's why I'm here.